Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Business Boys Bodcast. I'm joined today, as usual, by Kaif and Will. And today we'll be looking at two ultra fast fashion brands, Shein and Temu, their extremely fierce competition to capture the throne in the fashion industry, overthrow their rivals like Zara and H&M, and their ongoing lawsuits against each other.
I'm curious, has anyone tried shopping from Shein or Temu before?
I actually downloaded the app because of all the ads I saw on Instagram, but then immediately deleted it right after because of an article that I read that Temu sells your data.
Well, I have some more information surrounding those allegations coming up, so stay tuned, but I'm also a little bit skeptical about Temu.
I haven't tried Temu and Shein before, but I did scroll on their website and apps out of curiosity. So I didn't actually order any products or anything, but I was just curious to know what exactly they were selling. So I'll break the ice and start with Shein today. Some people say Shein, some people say Shein, and whatever it really is, Shein is a fast fashion retailer that produces thousands of garments and accessories at a rapid pace. The company is famous for selling trendy, super cheap clothing covering a large demographic, including women's wear, men's apparel, children's clothing, accessories, shoes, bags, and other fashion items. In fact, if we look at Shein's sales for the fast fashion clothing in the USA in comparison to other sales for fast fashion companies, we can see that it actually grew to be higher than any of the fast fashion companies in 2022, including Fashion Nova, Forever 21, H&M, and Zara. And if we look particularly at the dark line on this graph, we can see that it actually outperformed all of them in 2022, which is fascinating to see.
Wow, Hamzeh, it's interesting because looking back through Shein's history, it doesn't look like they actually were targeting Gen Zs. Shein actually started out by selling wedding dresses before it became a fast fashion retailer. Billionaire founder and CEO Sky Shu started the business in 2008 as an e-commerce site selling wedding dresses made in China. In 2015, he shifted the business model to focus on fast fashion apparel and rebranded it as Shein.
Yeah, and that's why Shein is the right way to call it. But it's important to mention that the company actually didn't boom until 2020 when quarantine shoppers launched e-commerce to the sky. Looking at Shein's market share, we can see that it held a striking 28% of the US market share in 2021. And I know these figures are, a bit outdated, I guess, but they are quite relevant to our discussion. And they're also showing us over time how much Shein actually took over the fast fashion industry. And once again, this has grown to be larger in 2022 and 2023. In this graph, we also see how drastically Shein sales increased over the years from 2016 to 2022. So, and this is specifically in billions of dollars. In 2020, this is when it all began. We can see that they had a striking revenue of $9.81 billion. And that rose to be $30 billion in 2022. Finally, we can see in this graph the market value of fast fashion companies, and we can see that Shein is valued at $100 billion as of July 11th of this year, in comparison to Zara, Uniqlo, and H&M.
Amazing insight, Hamzeh. But there are several allegations that Shein is unsustainable, considering it is also a super fast fashion brand. From the quality of their clothing to their unethical labor methods, the brand has ample issues associated with it that are both bad for the people and the environment. However, these are just still allegations and are yet to be proven.
But on the positive side, the clothes are affordable, in fact, very affordable. So I think it's safe to say that you could still find relatively good clothing among the thousands of apparels.
Yeah, that is true, and I agree with it. But let's also look at the hazardous chemicals such as dyes to make their fast fashion clothes, and these chemicals often contaminate land and water, which could be harmful for people and aquatic life. And these clothing tend to be made out of virgin synthetic materials like polyester, which is created from fossil fuels and plastics, producing over 700 million tons of CO2 yearly, which is equivalent to 180 coal-fired power plants. The businesses claim that they do recycle their products. However, they are not the most transparent on these details. But I also want to point out that these are issues that the fast fashion industry faces altogether due to the lack of feasible, sustainable methods of production currently, and especially on such large scales.
Thanks, Kaif. So quickly, for those that don't know about Temu, Temu launched in the UK in April 2023 and sells a whole host of products from clothes and toys to tech and sports items. Temu has become extremely popular through its bargain prices, which look incredibly attractive, in some cases even better than e-commerce giants such as Amazon. Temu can do this because its business model attracts vendors from China to ship directly to the customer, cutting out the need for the middlemen and lowering costs. And as a consequence of its low prices and powerful marketing, Temu is now the most downloaded shopping app in the UK.
That's interesting, Will, but
Wow.
this all leaves me wondering whether we can really trust Temu. Time speaks of accusations that Temu has an unreliable service, misuses customer data, and that US lawmakers have profiled Temu as having extremely high risk of using forced labor to make its products. Temu also has been accused of having malware in its mobile apps, and its parent company, Pinduoduo, was removed by Google from its app store for containing malware. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm certainly a little bit hesitant about using Temu.
Well, this is it. Temu has all these accusations against them, and it seems that they have also been making enemies, which is unfortunate. Looking at this excerpt from The Guardian, Temu filed a lawsuit against its rival competitor in the clothing industry, Shein, on the grounds of illegally interfering with their business. Yeah. According to Temu, Shein has been threatening suppliers with penalties, but Shein doesn't appear to be fazed by the lawsuit, describing it as without merit.
That makes you wonder whether something is happening between these two, or is it just politics and the competition for market share in the clothing industry? Shein operates by using suppliers in China much in the same way that Temu does. Shein may be worried that their suppliers may also supply Temu with the same goods, which could affect Shein's brand image and customer loyalty. If Shein has contracts in place that stop their suppliers from supplying on else, it could be a major blow for the company if their suppliers are going to Temu.
So, if Temu's allegations against Shein are true, it doesn't paint a nice image of Shein in the people's minds. A company that detains suppliers, demands chat histories, login details, and threatens people. The police in the UK can't force a person to open or unlock their phone. So, if a company has been doing this, to me, it would seem quite shocking. I do think it's important to remember, though, that Temu's lawsuits against Shein hasn't reached a verdict, and Temu has had many accusations against itself. So, therefore, we do need to be careful about any prejudgments.
This does make me slightly concerned about the clothing industry as a whole, though. We already have ultra-fast fashion from companies like Shein, and Shein can create a clothing product from concept to a fully furnished saleable product within 1 week. Although this is great for the consumer, this can have knock-on effects encouraging fast fashion and increased waste. If companies like Temu and Shein fiercely battle for suppliers and on price, there could be some nasty legal and ethical ramifications if the two are left unchecked.
Well, progress has been made in the fast fashion retail space, and the idea of a circular economy is becoming even more popular. However, intense competition within this space could be a major blow for the progress that has been made. I just hope that we don't take any backward steps as a result of this.
Well, moving on from the legal battles and the intense competition, let's delve into the financial side of things. So, Temu's rapid rise in ambitious growth targets raise some eyebrows. According to McKinsey's Consumer Pulse survey, there's a strong trend of consumers trading down for more value, which can be beneficial for deep discounting business models like Temu. But can Temu sustain its budgeted net loss of $3.17 billion in 2023? Now, that's a significant figure, especially when you consider the breakdown of their logistics expenses. That's $10 in shipping and handling expenses per package, $1 to move items to the warehouse, $5 to ship internationally, and $4 to ship to the customer. That's $19 on each package just on logistics alone.
Absolutely, Kev. It's not just about the legal battles and competition. It's about the sustainability of their business model, if we just think about it for a second. So Temu seems to be burning through cash, not only on deep discounts, but also on massive advertising campaigns. Temu placed more than 8,000 advertisements across meta platforms. 8,000. Just imagine that. And even bought an ad slot at the Super Bowl. Super Bowl. Super Bowl for Super Bowl. $14 million. The question is, can they keep up at this pace? Or will their financial model face challenges in the long run? Good question.
And let's not forget the global marketplace. Temu's not just competing with Shein in the US, they're both eyeing the $22 billion US market opportunity. Temu is forecasted to surpass $18 billion in sales this year, but the company has undoubtedly been burning through a lot of cash to sustain those kinds of figures. According to a report by 36KR, Temu makes a loss of around 30 to 35% on each US order and an average of 40% on orders globally. This is a budgeted net loss of $3.17 billion in 2023. The question of sustainability becomes even more critical in this competitive landscape.
That's true. Well, it is a delicate balance between aggressive growth and sustainable business practices. So while Temu and Shein battle for the crown, it is essential to consider the broader market dynamics. So according to McKinsey & Co., the State of Fashion 2024 survey, consumers seem to favor Temu and Shein over first-generation competitors like H&M and Zara. So their pricing strategy, direct from factory model, and market dominance are giving them a significant edge.
Implications for traditional brands are profound. It's becoming increasingly challenging for them to compete with the disruptive strategies of Temu and Shein. The direct link to factory output and the ability to meet consumer demand more efficiently have positioned these newcomers as formidable players in the market.
So as the battle between Temu and Shein unfolds, it's not just a clash between two companies, it's a reflection of broader trends in consumer behaviour, market dynamics, and the challenges traditional brands face. We'll be keeping a close eye on how the competition shapes the future of the fashion industry.
And that wraps up our discussion on the Temu and Shein rivalry and its implications. Let us know what you think of your experience with Shein or Temu in the comments down below. Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Business Boys Bodcast. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and notification bell below to get updates from us. Also, follow us on all our social media platforms linked in the description. Bye for now.
Bye.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us.